Jesse, we're going to call this video episode... Fill in the blanks.
Yeah. Episode something or others.
Yeah, so, okay, we got the chassis done. Body is situated on there, all fit together. We screwed the halves together. They recommend double-sided tape or chew goo. We went with the screws. We like the idea of having hardware versus just a tape or a glue. The body's sitting completely level to the ground. I like to tuck on the wheels. I like to get the front end down a little bit more. It's sitting right about there full time. So we'll work on that today. But actually, today's paint. Sorry, we're not going to work on that. We're going to stick to the paint on it and get this thing fired out. And as we're working on this one, we're going to start the build on the other one because this one's done besides paint. So right on. Stay tuned. So we've already got all these panels sanded and fit and cut and such, but right now we need to take it apart so we can wash all the releasing agent. If you do not wash your body, your paint will not stick. It doesn't matter how quality paint or what quality paint you use. It will not stick, and it sucks, mate. Yeah. So quickly burn this apart. These screws that we used for the body, there's no nut on the backside. They are just a coarse thread screw. I think they call them binder type screw. I don't know if you can see that right there. You can use the alternate screw, but they will pull out easier. Alternate would be your machine thread screw. Machine. Jesse?
Yes.
Jesse? So we're going to start on the second build right away, as we're also painting at the same time. We'll do another video series on that one, but we're doing the 22... What? What? There's spiders? That's f***ing gross. Oh! Burn the house! Is he gone? Oh shit. But now I'm gonna have bugs. That feeling. That bugsy feeling.
Always on the other side. He's on the other side.
Okay, so in preparation for paint, we gotta strip this body apart, take all these pieces apart. You can't paint it with it assembled, obviously. You need to get in between all the layers because this gets painted on the inside, and we need to prep and wash it. Some guys take a Scotch-Brite pad and scratch up the inside of it to get good adhesion with the paint. We just use Tamiya Paint products and have never had to do that, never had that problem. And wash it really well with hot soapy water is the most important thing. We are going two-tone on this color, the car, black and like metallic copper or something like that. We're not even sure, but that's one thing I'm not really a fan of, is picking out paint colors for my vehicles. I usually send the paintwork off to a buddy of mine, Ryan, and get that taken care of there. Doesn't mind doing it when he has time. Key problem as you get older, time. So before you come up with your paint ideas and such on these cars, you're going to want to kind of grab your decal sheet and your window masks and figure out which windows are masked. Are the headlights masked? Do you want clear headlights? You know, what do you want to do? All that good stuff. You know, does the grill got to be painted by you, or is there decal? Same for tail lights and such like that. Being a drag car body, you're not going to want to put a lot of time into a paint job on one of these because, especially, you know, our first, I could see a lot of carnage coming up. So I'm sure this body will be replaced many times before we get the car figured out. So
She's gonna be rolling.
So this one we're just going to do a quick paint job. No fancy liquid mask or nothing on this one. Maybe as we get better at driving, we'll get into that with some other ones. There's a gas cap. Couldn't see it the other day. Thought it was a defect.
In the wheel.
Yeah, with the tires behind it, doesn't look like it. So. Yeah, upstairs, we're gonna go wash this. Show you guys how we do that our way. Everybody does it differently. Okay, so first step you want to do is get the sink obviously clean. We're not submerging the part in here, but you don't want to be working around any grease when it comes to paint jobs. And another thing is you don't want to be like doing this while, you know, your wife or Mima or whoever you got in your house is like frying hamburgers and stuff like that, putting airborne grease into the air, because then your paint will just fish eye on the body. You don't want to do it out in the garage where you're spraying WD-40 or aerosols with penetrating oils and such into the air, because they get fish eyes. So first step, wash your sink out pretty decently. Just your hand is fine because you can feel all the grease that way better. Get rid of it. Don't use existing rag. Get a paper towel, get a wipe. Now you don't have to do this. This is because you're not really going to put the parts in there, but that's just how I like to do it. These have small parts, and these are going in. Soap you want to use, you don't want to use Palmolive or something like that. Find something that has a 2-time, this is no name brand, just don't worry about that, 2 times grease fighting power, something like that. Stuff that doesn't talk about how good it is for your hands, but how good it destroys grease is what you want, right? You want to cut the stuff on there quickly. Don't need a lot. I don't have a lot, so we can't use a lot, so. Hot water. Not warm, but hot. Full throttle, hot. Make sure you get all the corners and edges. If you are washing with your hand, you have to make sure, if you're a mechanic or you are working with metal and stuff, you don't got chunks stuck in your fingers. I work with metal and a mechanic, and I've done that, scratched bodies by washing them down. I had a chunk of metal stuck just sitting in my skin. Double check everything's clean. Doing inside and out of this because we're working with this protective film until the body's done. A lot of guys just hit the inside and then they don't touch the outside, and they touch the outside, or they don't wash outside and then they come along, touch it with their hands, and transfer that to the inside, and you get fish eyes. Just what are fish eyes?
Looks like little fish eyes in your paint.
Okay, now we'll dry this off, paper towel. Nice clean. Throw those on the floor. Then it's time to mask it off. Okay, so body's washed, clean, degreased. Your window masks. Start with those. Many ways to do them. I always like to hold it in place, kind of pre-cut them out. Where's my blade? Ah! It cut right up to the edge of that one. Almost cut too deep. pre-cut them out. I'm not too familiar with JCONCEPT bodies. The last one I did for them was King Sling. That one fit really nice. I just don't remember if there was an overlay, underlay, or whatever of that. My word of calling it for how these fit. Sometimes it's a little wide, sometimes it's boom, right on the money. These are boom, right on the money. These are actually a really, really nice fit if you look at that. So, yeah, we're gonna stick those on and go from there. Let's get these mounted. I like to peel back half of it and rip that off so I can get one corner started and going. And then I like to work looking from the inside out on it. So that way I can exactly where I want it. Perfect. Work 60% of the time, 60% of the time.
Ain't that the truth?
I started on the wrong side. I gotta just freehand it. I can't work from, I gotta go from left to right. So this corner fit nice, this corner fit nice. As I was running, it started to, so I kind of peeled it back, I bent it, I put this corner in, I put that corner in, so my corners look good. I bring it around here, and then I'll start to bring this together up here best I can. It's gonna give me a crease and an overlap, and I'm gonna use a piece of masking tape right across there to fill that void where their mask actually didn't fit perfectly well. Yeah, I ran out of tape over here.
Look at the precision.
There we go. Clean that up. Looks good. Make sure we get a nice seal all the way around. Same as that. Side windows. Two types. So that one fits there, which makes this one this side. This is going to be hard to get off.
Take it pretty good.
Oh yeah, getting a good bite. Side windows, I just line up the front corner and then the bottom edge all the way across and plop her in. Always line up from the same side. Don't line up from the bottom on one side and then the top on the other, or else you'll end up with whatever you want to call that in your windows. Comes to masking it. Weapon of choice is of course always Tamiya masking tape. We got 40 mil, 18 mil, 6 or 8 mil, 10 mil, 12 mil, 2 mil. We buy it all. Do not go out to Home Depot and buy painter's tape, frog tape. Any tape like that's not model specific will bleed and run. This stuff will even bleed and run if you're absolutely silly, but this stuff is super forgiving. So if you're entry level, as long as you maintain the first steps of give it a light coat and then a heavy coat after, you should be fine. So we're gonna get to masking this thing off and get ready for the first coats. Deco sheet. So we got front grille, rear tail light, bezel, headlights, Novas, blah blah blah, JCONCEPT logo, side exhaust. So yeah, headlights, taillights, grille. You get your basics. You got a little detail go across the top of the trunk deck. These garbage stickers here, it's a complete lies, but we'll just throw those out. And yeah, besides that, so we're gonna go with black and copper. So we want to do a black bezel around the headlights, around the grille, around the tail light, maybe across the trunk deck on that section. That's gonna be covered by the wing though, so that's gone. And around the tail lights, we want to do a black bezel. So we're gonna start masking the body off completely. You want to do black roof? So we're gonna mask off the body completely except for the roof and the scoop on the hood and the trim lines down the side. I don't know why I'm showing you that. I try to get the light to shine right on the right edge that I want, and then I tape right to that. Go to the light, Jesse. Go to the light. Bam! Perfect. On the line, on the money. This corner piece here, we're gonna have to do a cut to get that in. You're not gonna get that shape any which way. I like to use a big fat piece for the corner there. Now see, there's no defined line for what's the corner back here. I'm gonna draw a line in with my little red marker here. Right to there. There, and then I will run my line across there. So I've got it marked out there. Knife eluded me there for a minute. You don't want to use any pressure on this rice paper to cut it, or else you score the body, and when you tumble it will break. Just drag it along to where you're happy with it, and then don't pull this up, but peel it away from the cut. Now you can take this and put it on the other side to get your cut the exact match right there. You know you're on the same shape, but we're not that fancy. Okay, so did my line, got my cut, pretty happy with the line. I'm just gonna run this all the way through, right above my marks. There's actually a couple of dots in the plastic you can see, right. There. There, and there, color it there. We're gonna go with thin. So we're going to hit this inside pinstripe. We want to do this one black. Get a good shadow right there so I can see my edge. Same thing, I guess. I guess not the same thing, whatever. in this transition piece, you want to keep that line going straight as you do on all these side pieces. So when you put it all together, the lines match up too. So write that down.
Write it down.
Write it down.
Write it down.
Get a little taut. Okay, so we're outside where the paint is. You want to make sure before you put your first coat on that all your tape around your edges is bit. So right before you do one of these pieces, just give it a quick rub all the way around. Make sure your hands are clean, not greasy. Don't go eat a bag of chips in between. And then, yeah, you're going to want to hit that with a light coat. Okay, so back outside, we got the black on the car done, and I'm going to be hitting it with this PS61 Metallic Orange. The Metallic Orange with the black is a little bit too much of a separation, so I hit it with a PS31 Smoke Tamiya. When you want to use this product, you want to make sure you put this one of all paints in hot water before you spray it, or else you end up with spots. Get the can nice and hot in hot water. Not boiling, just hot water, and then let it rip, and you come out with a much better, even, nice spray pattern. So now we're gonna hit this with the Metallic Orange, and then we'll move on to the wing. The wing we're gonna do with Tamiya TS6 matte black. TS6 matte black. To do that, we have to sand the wing on the outside with some KS. Microfilm.
Wunderbar.
Okay, back on the bench where we got the 66 Nova body sitting on the chassis, completed, painted up, custom paint. It is a metallic orange, but I hit it with Tamiya tint first a couple times to give it that nice kind of dark, kind of, you know, a little bit of depth to it. Pretty good color, pretty good looking color in my opinion. Only screwed up on the paint job a few times, but whatever. That's what happens with these things. It's whatever. Looks pretty good though. I'm happy with it. Nice stance to it. Sitting nice and low on the JCONCEPT wheels and tires that we threw onto it. Jesse and I came up with this wheelie bar on the back. Used a couple axial parts we had kicking around. Mounted the upper, the body off here. Mounted the upper to the old upper bumper mount, the mud flap kind of dealy there. The bottom links, mounted them to the front up here, whatever you want to call it, bulkhead or just whatever. A lot of guys are running it back here. I like the idea of having them longer and a little bit more. I think they're stronger running in there. If they're going to flex, they're going to hit here and not, you know, keep bending up. So kind of a little bit more sturdy. Front suspension on this car, or suspension general, played around with it. Just realized like I got like 2 millimeters of travel in the front. Real estate, you don't have to have any. So I'm running just the bare minimum to see how I like that at first. The rear running about 10 millimeters of shock travel. Gives the whole ride maybe at the rear end probably 14 mils travel, 14 mils travel. Might be a little bit much. When she fully squats, the wheelie bar hits the ground. The wheels hit the contact nicely for anything else, so that's decent, but we don't know until we get out and test it. I've lit it up on a few times on the shop floor just to see where the tires are sitting and if there's any, chattering or hopping or twisting or torquing. Yeah, pretty well. It works good. Spins the tires no problem. These tires, this side here need a little bit of alignment. Just get more tread wear to the outside. Pierce might, like the foam might be a little bit off. I'll just kind of work with that. Maybe a few runs when we actually get it out, we'll kind of straighten that out. But who knows? Currently running on 2S. Going to go up to 3S once we get the other car there. The second car is only capable of 2S with the Tekin ESC that's in it. So we're going to keep this one on 2S and wait till the other car's done, get out, do some tests and tuning and running with them, and kind of see where we're going to go. We're going to probably swap out the other C. These things are like 50 bucks, 60 bucks, and they could take 3S all day long. So we might pop one of those in the other one, and then we know we'll be pretty competitive between the two of them. The goal is to be super competitive, super close to the cars. We don't want one faster than the other because that's no fun. We want it to be one pretty much at the line when you go. So, way to go. So, stay tuned. We'll get this car out on the track and do some testing and tuning. Hopefully by the time we get the second car up and running, we can do some drag racing. And catch you guys soon. Bye.